Hey folks, alright, so just want to make sure everyone's kind of clear as to how to make this video, or how to make these charts. I'm going to suggest that you head on over to Student Share, and in Student Share you will see a folder entitled Millette Joseph and A5 Viscosity Lab Graph. So obviously this is for the viscosity students. There's copies of a video here for you to watch if you wish it, but pick any one of these sample templates to get yourself started. Point out that A5 Viscosity Lab is a great one to start. Please note it says last name, comma, first name, hyphen A5 Viscosity Lab. That's what you want your title of your file to be. So we'll open this up, and your goal here, you'll see it's already kind of prearranged for you. But what we're missing is some data and some information, so definitely want to figure this out, get this going here. Let's see, dates. Today is October 10th, 2014. This is period A, no, period G, whatever, doesn't matter. Period B. And now we need our temperature. So I'm going to make the other recommendation that you actually go and put the temperature in the correct order from smallest to largest. So I'll say 1 degree here, and then I did this at 12 degrees, and then 20 degrees, and 30 degrees, 35, and 42 degrees. Alright, now for each one of these oil grades, you need to have actually your averages, and you probably should have it all set up based upon the time in seconds. So these are just some sample numbers to kind of help people with this. 10, we'll do like 9, and then 4, and then 1 second, and 1 second. Alright, so once you have your total chart here filled in with all your data, you're going to need to actually go about the process of inserting a chart. The chart is set up, at least here through Excel, that if you click Insert, and for this graph we're going to suggest the scatter plot, in particular the scatter with straight lines, and you're going to see that the graph pops up here, but it doesn't have any data. So this data we need to go and basically select for the computer. The computer's only so smart. So another thing to note when looking at this, if you click on the actual chart, this chart tool shows up, and if you click off the chart and click on a cell, it disappears. So clicking on the chart and clicking on design, selecting data was where you want to start. The computer automatically has series 1 selected, but its series 1 is this chart box over here, which doesn't really help us. We need to remove it, at which point we're going to add some information, some data. So series name, I'm going to say 30 grade, and then the X value in this case here is always going to be what didn't change, which is the temperature. That's universal to all the grades. And so I'm just going to select just the numbers. Click right here. Now that selects that data. When it comes to the Y value, I need the time, I need the seconds. So selecting here, selecting just the numbers for 30 grade. Closing that, you'll see it says OK, and you'll notice also very quickly there's actually something that shows up on the chart. Great job. Now you need to keep adding 40 grade, 50 grade, and 60 grade, just as we did with the 30 grade. So I'm going to hit cancel for a moment and say OK to get out of here. Now this chart's looking really great, however it's missing some information. The title it came up with was 30 grade, and that's not exactly a valid title. Instead, I'm just going to call it the A5 Viscosity Lab Graph. And I do need to have both my X and my Y axis, and to do that, if you look under layout, here's where you can find chart title, axis title, so on and so forth. I need some axis titles, both horizontal and vertical. At which point, now I'm going to go ahead and adjust these bits of information. This was time, and that was in seconds. And this is temperature, which was in Celsius. Alright, now you should have all 4 grades on this graph, and if you click off, before you do a print preview, get a chance to kind of see how it looks, and you'll notice very quickly that if you had the graph selected, you're only going to see the graph, and you're only going to print out the graph. We need both the data and the graph, so make sure that your print preview looks appropriate. Again, just to show that if I had the graph selected and I do print preview, you'll see very quickly it's just the graph. No name, no data, nothing. Alright? So make sure you get that right. And I'd recommend saving this just in case you need to finish this at a later time. You always want to click the Microsoft Office button, save as, And you want to make sure you click on your documents, wherever your documents are. There they go, documents. And you want to make sure you save it as your last name, comma, first name, A5 viscosity lab graph. So Millette, Joseph, and I'm going to save it to my documents, save. All right, folks, thanks very much. Appreciate it.